the Minister of Culture, she came down and she was in ARC and she said, well, where is the Dunedin Sound? And we said, oh, you're actually about 10 years too late.
The timing may have been out, but the Minister had the right spot for alternative musical sounds in Dunedin. Tonight's a big night at the Art Cafe. It's celebrating 4 years in business and the release of a compilation CD that doubles as an organic cookbook. Art Cafe has been called the centre of Dunedin's cultural universe. It's a music venue, a gallery space, home to some exciting new talent and some genuine local music legends.
I don't play that often, but if I do play, I usually stick to ARC. Mainly because it's non-profit and I like to think I'm a bit of a socialist. But it's non-profit, it's for people. It feels like, you know, you're not being taken advantage of, really, in any way at all.
Founded by Elliot Young, the ARC is now run by a volunteer board of directors who keep the cafe steering its ideological course. This is no Starbucks, and the board is determined to keep it that way. But with the experience of some short-lived similar ventures in mind, they're realistic enough to embrace just a little capitalism.
It's like the contemporary expression of ideas that have been sort of current in Dunedin for, you know, 10, 15 years, but we've sort of applying those ideas perhaps more intelligently and with, you know, obviously greater effect than we have in the past, because we've got something that's now been running for 4 years, you know, and it's not going to fall over tomorrow.
They were really organised about how they ran the venue from the word go, I thought. They had food and alcohol and it was well run. I mean, they had that immediate, you know, profit happening off the alcohol, and that's basically, I think, why it survived.
Apart from the booze, it's live music and quality food that keep the customers coming and the tills humming. Add to all that free internet access, and it's not hard to see why the cafe is so important to this city and the envy of many others.
All of the money that the cafe makes over and above what it needs to do to pay people back, it ploughs back into the artistic community.
Boy station. I'm heading off Stewart Street.
And plough they do, into everything from exhibitions to recording projects like this one from a band called Pointy Little Stick.
I'm in the Arctica, looking at the cathedral. Not a pigeon to be seen. I'm walking down George Street, dodging the traffic, dodging the McDonald's packets, dodging...
I think ARC's been a real mainstay of the alternative cultures in Dunedin for its 4 years running. It's certainly sort of become a real sort of epicentre for arts events around Dunedin. Just, I mean, right down to the level as a meeting place and somewhere to run seminars and workshops.
Tom Bell runs ArcLife, the cafe's record label, a job that kept him in Dunedin, a city that often loses its young talent.
If I didn't have these opportunities to really sort of sink my teeth into like a really big project like this, then I would have looked elsewhere to find something similar. But I mean, if I looked elsewhere to find something similar, I might have had no luck.
Like Kilgar, Jay Clarkson is an alternative music legend, a one-time member of the Expendables and an Art Cafe regular.
I've been living down here 7 years now, and what I enjoy about Dunedin, one of the things I enjoy is there's an openness to giving things a go. So what if it isn't perfect?
Clarkson's career spans several decades. In the late 80s, her band Breathing Cage won the short-lived but highly sought-after Rhineck Rock Awards.
When I used to perform down here, used to tour down here, I always found Dunedin audiences really really enjoyed performing to a Dunedin audience. Because they seemed to be really genuinely interested and really warm and inviting, and that was partly why I moved down, really.
Even more so than ever, Dunedin's still quite a cheap place to live. I mean, you can buy a house here pretty cheaply, you can get a pretty cheap, you know, flat to live in. I mean, and you know, that appeals to artists, obviously, artists and musicians. So, I mean, people gravitate towards the city because of that.
By the time I sort of got old enough to sneak into pubs and go out and see a band on a Friday night down here, I'd go and see a band like Snapper or, you know, The Clean or David Kilgour, and I was just mind-blown.
I'm surprised that I'm still doing. I mean, every year I go, you know, okay, maybe this is the year that I have to get a real job. But, you know, to be in my late 30s and still doing it, it's fantastic. But every year I still go, okay, David, wake up. But something always comes along. You know, I managed to survive another 6 months or 12 months or whatever, so it's fantastic.
Though still not a household name, Kilgour continues to release his music here and in America, where there is a cult following for his solo work and for his band, The Clean, who recently toured the States. He isn't making millions, but he is making a living with his music.
I was told throughout most of my young years that I'd never make a career out of music, you know, even by people that were involved in music, but you know, it is possible to do.
It's a very little use to sit there and rally against politicians or whoever you might think might be against you, but the best way of all is to just get out and do it yourself. If there aren't enough venues, you don't sit around complaining about or waiting for a grant to actually do it, just do it yourself.